everybody, and welcome to Los Angeles, Italia. I am so sorry I'm not there with you this year. You cannot believe how sorry I am and how sad I am to not share with you this magic moment I always wait for 1 year. Actually, I'm waiting this moment since 2 years, and maybe I have to wait for 1 more year to be in Los Angeles. Okay, the festival will be amazing. We are so happy, we are so proud of the Italian nominees: Paolo Sorrentino, The End of God, Enrico Casarosa, Luca Animation, and then Massimo Cantini Parrini, the costume of Cyrano. 3 wonderful talents, but 150 movies are going to be shown in LA, Italia. And this festival will be, as usual, amazing. A lot of guests that will be welcomed by the Consul General of Italy, Silvia Chiave. Hello, Silvia. And also by the new Italian Institute of Culture Director, Emanuele Amendola. Hello, Emanuele. And of course, will be many, many guests. So tonight there is Riccardo Scamarcio and Benedetta Porcaroli. Ciao ragazzi. Mi raccomando, datevi da fare. And then will be also Alessandro Pondi, that is over there showing his movie School of Mafia, and then many, many others together with so many producers. I want to welcome also there one of main sponsors of the festival, Intesa San Paolo, represented there by the one and only Nicola Corigliano, who is actually a star in the movie business because when he is around, movies goes back and forth from Italy, production, incoming, outgoing, incredible. But you see, this is the mask, the Los Angeles Italia Award, the Pulcinella mask that actually is going to be presented tonight to a wonderful actor that I'm going to introduce you now because he's here with me in Roma, together with an amazing actress, talented, beautiful, charming. You'll see her soon in a big major movie produced by Andrea Iervolino. So I want to introduce you my dear friend Kabir Bedi from India and Hollywood, and from Sorrento, Francesca Tizzano, who actually is going to get the award to present to Kabir, because Kabir Bedi is going to get the first LA Italia Legend Award by Francesca. Please, Francesca, you want to...
Good evening. Yes, good evening, everybody. I'm so sorry I couldn't make it to LA, but for sure I'll be there next year to present my next movie, Lamborghini, with the amazing cast, produced by Iervolino, with the amazing Bobby Moresco, Mira Sorvino, Frank Grillo, and many others. So I'm really happy and I look for that for sure. So this is for you, Kabir. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Francesca. Thank you so much, Pascal. You know, this means so much to me because LA and Italy have been an integral part of my life for decades. I lived in LA for 20 years. Italy gave me my international fame, my door into Hollywood. My son Adam still lives in Hollywood doing special effects on the sets. And I must say that this LA Italia Award touches my heart because it touches the 2 places that mean the most to me in the world. And coming from the festival and from my friend Pascal, who has done more to unite LA and Italia than anyone else that I know, it feels really special. God bless you all. I love you, and I truly value this award.
Thank you so much, Kabir. Thank you so much, Francesca. And thank you also to the people that is working for the festival. First of all, let me thank the Chinese theater for supporting us with a major effort on this time. But today, so it's not going to be to introduce this show, the LA Italia show, but there are going to be 2 people, 2 wonderful friends. The one and only acting coach, Bernard Hiller, and then the beautiful and talented Sofia Milos. Enjoy the show.
Enjoy the show. Enjoy the festival.
Bye.
Thank you, Francesca.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pascal. Have a great time, and thank you for this.
So we are here in Hollywood celebrating Italian movies, Italian art, after a couple not very easy years.
Yes,
so how does it feel to be here in Hollywood all together again, finally celebrating and being happy together?
It feels fantastic. First of all, it's fantastic to be here to celebrate art. Art is the only thing that brings the whole world together. When you're in a movie theater or a theater, it's like a family. And we're like La Familia. And art is the most important thing. And Italian art is so important because it teaches about our humanity. So I love doing this, and we need to celebrate art wherever it is. And remember, during the difficult times, The thing that help us are movies, songs, dancing. It's the most important thing to our humanity. And Italia is #1 in the world for that.
Also, as we said, we are here celebrating art, movies and all that, but at the same time, in the center of Europe right now, there is a war going on. So can you tell me how does it feel, this sensation, you know, that we are celebrating, but there is something very serious happening right now?
Performers feel the whole world, and the most important people in the world are performers, and I want to say the performers are making a difference. I have Ukrainian actors who are calling in, who are Zooming in, that I'm teaching, and of course it feels horrible. And I think the whole world is recognizing that something like this cannot happen. And we are here to celebrate art and our humanity, and to realize that together we can accomplish anything. So I think it's a beautiful moment for us.
So, 3 very easy questions. First of all, you know that very well, but how does it feel to be in Hollywood celebrating Italian movies, Italian art, after a couple not very easy years we've all been through?
Yes, everyone's been through craziness, obviously, and there's still craziness going on in the world. So to pull this off and still to have this, Pascal did an amazing job. We don't forget what's going on in the world, but we have to still, art helps the world, and we support what's happening. We're with the Ukrainian people. It's devastating what's going on, but we have to keep, after what we've been through the last 2 years, we have to keep film alive. We have to keep art alive. We have to show that the people can still make film, make art, and influence people to be better human beings. So this was very important that this happened this week, and I think Pascal deserves a lot of credit for pulling this off. It's a great week, the Oscars, and we have 3 Italian nominees from Italy. Just fantastic. So it's great to be back. People coming out to see the movies. It's quite an honor to be here.
You anticipated my next question. We are here celebrating, having fun, but at the same time, in Europe there is a war going on. Would you tell us something about it?
Well, this goes back to when all wars that occurred while there was cinema, World War II. Something comes out of it. Artists write, sculptors create, painters paint, and filmmakers make films. And I think there will be film to come out of this, and to show humanity how war, there's never a reason for war, especially in this day and age. There is no reason for this. But I think artists are going to promote that more. So I think to keep going, to push, to make films, to write books, to whatever it takes, art is very important to put the word out against any war ever again.
First of all, welcome back. Here we go.
Here we go.
So, what's your take? How does it feel to be here again for the Italian festival, Los Angeles Italia Film Festival, here in LA, in Hollywood, at the Chinese Theater?
Well, you know, this festival has been 17 years, so this is 17 years in the making with Pascal's great dream, and to bring together all these Italian filmmakers that affect the world cinema. So it's exciting to see people. We've been closed down, right, because of the difficulties in the world and stuff. And this is just very heartening to see the enthusiasm and the excitement that people have for this great list. There's a tremendous list of films that from Italy that people can come and see, besides having the great director Paolo Sorrentino and Casarosa, who did Luca. I mean, so it's an exquisite evening, exquisite festival.
And talking about tough things in the world, how do you feel to live in this moment where there's war in Ukraine? How does it feel?
Unsettling. It's very unsettling. It's sad. It's and that's why, you know, art brings people together. The world cinema brings people together. Film, the ideas in film give us a better understanding of each other, and I wish much more was done in works of art instead of. I always say that one film maybe has a bigger effect than 1,000 bullets, and we have to, you know, hopefully society and mankind will grow to the understanding of something like that.
Buonasera a tutti. Good evening, everybody. Let me introduce you Francesca Tizzano from Sorrento, wonderful actress, one of the people that could not make to Los Angeles as it happened to me, cara Francesca.
Yes, unfortunately I couldn't make it. Good evening, everybody. Hi, LA. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it, but I'm sure I will be there very soon. Hopefully before next year. Why not?
Why not? Yes, because she has just done a movie, Lamborghini, with Maestro Bobby Moresco, Mira Sorvino, Frank Grillo, and of course, I'm sure that Francesca will have much more to tell in the future. But let me thank one more time the Consul General of Italy, Silvia Chiave, and the Director of the Italian Institute of Culture, Emanuele Amendola, for making this event look better than me hosting the show. Yes, I want to thank them for supporting the festival. I want to thank them for making this happen and promoting it with all the opportunities that the Italian system has in Los Angeles. And I want to also thank especially Silvia Chiave, because she suggested me this movie that you just saw, One of Us, dedicated to the women. So the women is a very important part of our life, and I'm very happy and very proud that Chiara Tilesi, congratulations Chiara, could show her movie. So women are in the lead position for Los Angeles, Italia. Francesca?
Of course, we've got the power.
But I am very happy now to thank one lady, one woman, very strong, powerful woman, who actually made this opportunity happen to us, to have Paolo Sorrentino in person there for his screening The End of God. Paolo, sei il numero uno, non dimenticarlo mai, ti vogliamo tanto bene, we love you Paolo.
We support you from Naples area. I'm from Sorrento, so of course we support you. And
But
luck.
I was talking about a woman, actually I want to talk about two women. One is Lisa Tabak, who's the chief of communication, and not only is one of the genius of Netflix. Thank you so much, Lisa, and also your wonderful assistant Kelly Dalton, and also Daniela D'Antonio, the wonderful life of Paolo Sorrentino, actually is always smiling, always very pleasant to us. So it's going to be an amazing week, as I told you yesterday, and with us we have also Bernard Diller and Sofia Milos hosting the event. Many awards are coming up from tonight and also the next days. So God bless you guys. I miss you so much. We miss you so much.
We miss you so
and
much.
we hope to be soon again in Los
LA.
Angeles. Viva Los Angeles, Italia. Viva il cinema italiano. Ciao.
Bye.
So we have a beautiful surprise. We're honored that the Los Angeles Italia Film Festival gets to have a wonderful Oscar-nominated director again for this incredible movie that you just saw, with his personal and moving story to his life, which I'm sure he will tell you about. And of course, he's already, all of us, we need to wish him luck to win this year again after 2014 with the great beauty, La Grande Bellezza. We're so blessed to have him here tonight. And the moderator of the Q&A will be the director of the Italian Cultural Institute. Where is he? Emanuele Amendola. Please welcome to the stage Paolo Sorrentino.
Thank you very much. She's Lilia, my translator.
Okay. Here we are. Can you hear me okay up there? No. Is this on? Okay, I guess. Is this on? No. Okay, fine. We will share. What a great honor being here with you, Paolo, tonight. Actually, you have to know, I had the luck and privilege to meet Paolo Sorrentino last October. We were in Washington, D.C., and the promotion of The Hand of God was in full swing. And tonight, we are here, again, and Paolo is in the running for Best International Feature at the Academy Awards. For the second time, he already won with The Great Beauty in 2014. So, Paolo, how does it feel to be back to Los Angeles and waiting for the big night?
I am very happy, very relaxed. The front runner is another guy, so I am very, very. I am ready to go to the ceremony and to see the winner in front of me.
No, you're always too modest. So, obviously, the audience here is all keeping their fingers crossed. So let's start from the beginning. The Hand of God is obviously and probably your most intimate film ever. It is your story. So how did you know and when did you know that this was the right time to tell your story to the audience?
2 years ago, I turned on 50, and I thought it was the right moment to do a movie that was important for me. I don't know. 50 was an age that I started to do i bilanci, come si dice? To take stock. And so I decided to do this movie. So that's it. There are not too many movies that a director, a filmmaker can do after the 50s, because it's a very tiring work. So I have to choose the most important movies I want to do, and this was the first of the list of the movies that I want to do.
And yes, obviously, because as we mentioned, you talk about your personal story. Was it a process that, in a way, changed the way you look at your past, at your childhood? What did you learn from making this film?
Nothing, because it was my story. I knew my story. I didn't learn nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah.
Well, obviously what I meant is, like, you might look at things from a different perspective, but talking about perspectives, let's talk a little bit about Filippo Scotti, who is very talented, is so brilliant in this film. So I wanted to ask you, how did you cast him, and how did you know he was the right one to play this part?
He was the best actor I met among many young Napolitan actors, and he was shy, not at ease with the world. It was exactly what I was looking for. And after several auditions, he confirmed that he was able to play the main character of a movie. Yeah. That was the reason why I chose him. Yeah.
Great. It did a great job. So I also wanted to mention another important person who worked on this film, the director of photography, Dario D'Antonio, because the visuals and the photography of the film is just amazing. I was working with her, and what did you try to capture together?
It was great. We know each other since many years, because she was the camera operator of all my previous movies, and we worked together for other commercials or short movies where she was my DOP. Then she made several movies with other directors, and it was great. And then she comes from Naples. She knows very well the city, and also our families come more or less from a similar origin. And so we didn't need to talk too much about this movie. She knew the environment, the mood, and the city, and so it was very easy to work with her.
And this actually, it's a very good link to my next question, because this film also tells us a lot about Naples. You know, The Great Beauty was your tribute to Rome, and this is in a way your tribute to Naples. So what did you want to represent of Naples on screen, and what do you want the audience to know about Naples, especially the non-Italian audience?
No, nothing, because Naples is a dangerous city. All directors that try to describe Naples, they meet many people that say no, but it's not right, it's not correct. So in order to avoid this risk, the only thing I did was to put on the stage the city that I was used to know when I was young. So nobody can say, no, this is not real. It's real because it's exactly the places where I grew up and the places that I knew when I was young in Naples. So there is not an idea about Naples. There is just the Naples that I knew.
Thank you. And actually, this brings me to another aspect of your film. One of the most interesting and significant part of the film is the conversation between Fabietto and Capuano. And something very important is said there, which is a cosa serve il cinema? A niente, però distrae da cosa? Dalla realtà. And I'm summarizing in English. What's the purpose of cinema? It doesn't serve any purpose, but its point is that it can distract you from reality, which is mediocre, which is a great paradox, because this film is about reality, it's about your life. But what I wanted to ask you is, what did Capuano teach you that you value the most, and who else also had an influence on you during your growing up?
Capuano influenced me because he is always full of vitality, exactly the opposite of me, and so I tried to learn his vitality without having success. But it was important for me to insist to try to do this work, and then we had a wonderful relationship based on this disagreement about everything, and this was very stimulating for me, more than for him. Yeah.
So, I have two more questions before I go to my last question. And they're going to be very brief. It's something that many people ask me, curiosities that probably you've been asked many times before. So the first one is about the character of the sister. What is she doing constantly in the bathroom? I have to tell you, I grew up in a household with 3 older sisters. And when I think about my childhood, one of the things I remember the most is long waiting times for the bathroom.
I don't know what she did, because she was in the bathroom, I was outside, so I don't know what to. I can even, because she was older than me of 13 years, so I can imagine that she was making up, put makeup on for the boyfriend. I imagine. I don't know if there are more serious problems. I don't know.
The same case with my sister too. And second question about Maradona, but I would like to add something else to that, because obviously you've been asked many times, have you ever met Maradona? But also what I wanted to ask you is, what do you think he would think, or what would you like he would think if we could see this film?
This is a good question. I don't know. No, I met Maradona once. after that I won the award, he called me, but I was on the plane going back to Rome, and the hostess said to me, switch off the phone, switch off the phone. So I didn't speak with him. And second time I met in a football match, but he was arguing with the girlfriend. So he was not too much available to speak with other people. He was fighting. So my meeting, so I don't know what I want. I would love to, but it's impossible, of course, to meet him and to speak slowly, without distractions, but it's not possible. But I don't know what, I don't know.
So, no, and really the last question for you, which is also for our audience here in the room, what would you like people to take away from this film? What is the message that you would like to inspire?
No, it's very important that movies must not have the message. This is the most important condition in order to do a good movie. At any rate, the movie has a small idea in the end, above all for the young people, and the idea is that there is a future for everybody also, even if sometime in the life of a young person is difficult to understand that there is the future, because sometimes the future looks like dark and hidden. Yeah, that's it.
It's a very powerful message of hope
Thank you.
Is much needed, especially these days, considering what's going on in the world. And before leaving you, I would like to call back on stage our kind host, actress Sofia Milo, for the last part of the program. And again, Paolo, grazie mille for spending this time with us tonight. Paolo Sorrentino.
So I go.
No, stay.
I stay.
Because we have a little surprise for you.
Whose microphone? Okay. No, you're staying, the guest of honor. Just one more minute, something special. I would like to invite on the stage our Consul General, Silvia Chiave, who is going to give you an award.
Thank you very much.
Bravo Paolo, grazie. Some of us has seen the movie for the third or the fourth time. Che questo premio sia di buonissimo auspicio. We're so proud of you, Paolo. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Salve a tutti, hello everybody. Il maestro Tony Renis, the honorary president of Los Angeles, Italia.
Hello, how are you? I love you so much. I'm sorry that I can't be there, but I am there with you with all my heart. I love you so much.
Tony Renis, a life in Los Angeles, and I have to tell you something. If this festival is happening since 2006, is because Il Maestro has always pushing me to do, Pascal, you have to make something happen very cool in Los Angeles. And we are very proud that it's happening. And tonight I'm very, very happy because with Maestro we sing hello, we greeting, and three wonderful Italian people who actually are going to be honored tonight by Miss Silvia Chiave, who's actually, as you all know, the Consul General of Italy in Los Angeles, and then the new chief of the Italian Institute of Culture, Manuele Amendola. And I'm very grateful to him for all this support. I also want to say hi to Alessandra Rinaldi of the Italian Trade Commission, who's making a major effort in order to support American cinema. So we want to also say, congratulate three people who actually are connected with the Oscars. So two that are going to shake as il maestro Tony Renis shook when he was nominated for the movie Questo Camelot
for the Oscar.
For the Oscar, The Prayer.
I won the Golden Globe.
You won the Golden Globe. And so we are talking about Massimo Cantini Parrini. Ciao Massimo.
Ciao Massimo.
Also, buonasera signora Cantini Parrini. And so che lei è lì con Massimo.
Massimo, I vote for you, okay? You must win.
E poi questo genio, this genius, Enrico Casarosa, who's actually the genius that Pixar, Disney got for directing this movie, Luca. What a wonderful. And then, Tony, talking about giants, talking about legends, we have to congratulate Maestro Dante Spinotti.
Dante, I love you. Dante, say, we talked about you last night. I'm telling you.
Yeah?
True, eh? Last night, I had a dinner with my brother, Vittorio Storaro, and I was talking about you, and I was asking him. He said, Vittorio, what do you think? To be honest with me, what do you think about Dante Spinotti? And he told me, he's number one, is the greatest
cinematographer.
He's Dante Spinotti. Dante, that's the truth. Vittorio Storaro loves you, and we were talking about you last night.
And so,
love you.
And so then, of course, we have to remind also Paolo Sorrentino, congratulations to him, and cross the finger for Sunday.
Yes,
so thank
cross
you
the
again.
finger.
We are very, very thankful for making this event happen. I hope that next year we will be back all together in Los Angeles with the Maestro Tony Renis and all of you for another amazing event, Los Angeles, Italia. Ciao!
Ma Pascal, I want to know, which kind of sigla you choose for our festival?
Dimmi quando tu verrai.
Okay. I dedicate my song, Quando, to all of you from the bottom of my heart. Tell me when will you be mine? Tell me quando. Love you so much.
Ciao, grazie.
Love you.
So let's go back live because we have a nice moment for women in film. So let's go connect with New York, where I have my dear friend Gina Gershon, as well as in Sorrento, where there is another wonderful actress, Francesca Tizzano. Actually, Gina, are you there?
Hello, Gina. Ah, there. Hi. I was like, I'm here. I didn't know why you couldn't see me.
So, Francesca, keep going.
Yes,
Hi,
I mean, the
Pascal.
Oscars
How
are
are
very
you?
close. It's a matter of hours, and you know, it's hard to choose, who's the best. I mean, everyone is so talented. Everyone deserves to be there, of course. But yes, as a woman, I do support women, and hopefully we will have a third woman to win the Oscar for sure. So that's really exciting, and that means like we are on a long journey as women to gain more and more. But I think we're on the right way. So the industry is getting it's understanding that things are changing, that women are becoming more and more important in this, in our role is becoming more and more important as independent women, and we deserve that. So I'm really happy to hear that we have a lot of very talented women in the Oscar nominees, and I wish them
So,
good
Gina,
luck, and hopefully
Gina,
and I
so
really
Jane
and this is for
Campion is
women.
Yes.
pretty close to be the third actress to get an award as a best director. Pretty thrilling, no? This was the wish of Lina Wertmüller when in 2019, receiving the Oscar, honorary Oscar by Jane Campion, Sofia Loren, Isabella Rossellini. She said that we should have a statue called Anna and not anymore Oscar.
That's a good idea. Why not?
So how does it feel to have Jane Campion, I mean, becoming the third director to get an award, a female director?
Well, I mean, she hasn't gotten it yet, but it would be great. I think she's a wonderful filmmaker. And last year, a woman won the Oscar. Listen, I think as more and more opportunities open up for women, they just, you know, proportionately, it's been mostly men directing, but the more women direct, which it seems to be going in that direction, thank goodness, more women will be winning the Oscar. You know, it's tough to win if there's one woman working with us in a sea of men, you know. So the odds will be in our favor, as they say.
Yes. Also, last year for No Man's Land, and then we had Catherine Bigelow in the past, and now Jane Campion. I mean, it's a really coming up the result of the Academy extending to a lot of more different genders, the possibility to join the academy and to get to vote. So they actually there is no anymore only men to lead the top position of the most important cinema organization.
Well, the more opportunities that women get, the more people, you know, listen, to me, it's either a good director or not a good director. And you know, I think there's wonderful women out there who are directing. I just think they still need more opportunities to, you know, to get the, I just saw Maggie Gyllenhaal's film the other day and I really loved it. I thought she did a wonderful job. I mean, now after that, then we just have to have the pay to equal, you know, for actors and directors and writers as well. That's necessary too. I mean, listen, little by little, people are changing the narrative of what's going on in Hollywood, and hopefully it's all for the better. But you know, I think I just saw this incredible movie the other day, a French Mothering Sunday, wonderfully directed by Eva Houssan, a French director. It's beautiful. I mean, I you know, I just think the more opportunities, and then people will see what's going on. But do you think Jane is going to win tonight? I guess she's favored.
I think
to win,
Jane
yes?
is going to win tonight, and I'm very thrilled for that because I mean she's in some way in love for Italy, as you are, and she honored Lina on my call 2019, and I mean she deserves it because she's a wonderful the director, and has a vision and has an inclusion attitude. So I think that she will definitely win the Oscar for Best Director. This is my point of view. Francesca, there is a big competition in terms of acting. There is Jessica Chastain, my Ischia buddy Jessica, and then there is Olivia Colman, and then there is Nicole Kidman. Tough competition this year. Who is your favorite?
It's hard to pick one. You know, it's hard to choose between them because they're all very, very talented. They're great actresses and they've done amazing jobs. So it's a tough question, but what can I say? You know, may the best win.
What's your opinion about among the actresses to be the lead one tonight? It seems there's going to be Jessica Chastain night.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, Regina Gina.
Oh, I sorry. There's a delay. who do I think is going to win as the actress in the leading role?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. You know, I love Olivia Colman. I think Penelope Cruz is fantastic. I thought Nicole did a great job. I mean, I would love to see Penelope get it personally. I think they all did a wonderful job, but I thought, you know, I love Penelope. I think Nicole did an incredible job with a very difficult situation. It was kind of amazing what she did. But Olivia Colman to me is just so incredible in The Lost Daughter. But I love everything she does. It's a tough call. So I don't know.
I love whatever you make, Gina. What are you up to? What are you doing?
Well, right now, I was supposed to be doing reshoots in Budapest, but luckily that's been postponed for a movie I've been working on, a big movie with Kate Blanchett and Jamie Lee Curtis, who I adore, called Borderlands. But we have to keep working on it, and that's been pushed for lots of reasons. I'm going to come to LA next week, or in a week and a half, to do a little film with Vito Schnabel and Sharon Stone, and that Tony Kaye's directing. What else? I don't know. You know, I'm here in New York. You know, I finally got COVID, so I've been a little bit out and a little spacey. So that's why I'm still here. But I'm fine now. I hope you're staying safe out there, Pascal.
I hope too. I'm gonna see you soon. I can't wait to see you again in Ischia, July 10, 17. Please book your agenda.
When is it?
Save your date.
The 10th or 7th? It's July 17th?
10 to 17. Yes.
And Regina Gina, I have to be there.
Francesca, you just made a movie. Francesca, you just made with Bob, Mira Sorvino, Frank Grillo, Gabriel Byrne, Lamborghini. So it's a national career starting. And Gina Gershon actually was your godmother in Ischia last year. Gina is bringing you good luck.
Exactly. She brought me good luck for
Hi.
sure. Yes. Because when we were in Ischia, it was right before we then started shooting. We started shooting in October. So yeah, definitely she brought me good luck. And I can't wait to see the movie for sure. Of course, I'm really excited. It's been so wonderful to have the amazing opportunity to work with Bobby Moresco, Mira Sorvino, Frank Grillo, and you know, all the others. And so yeah, I'm very, very excited. I really can't wait to see the movie, and it's
What do you like most of Gina Gershon? I know that you love her particularly. What do you like of Gina?
Yes. Well, her personality for sure. She's, you know, she's Gina. You know, you can find another Gina Gershon. So yes, absolutely, she's a wonderful woman, and also very funny.
Thank you, Francesca.
So, Gina,
nice to see you, Francesca.
Nice to see you too.
Gina, so what's your feeling tonight? Of course, we are sure that in some way the tragedy going on in the east of Europe will be mentioned. We don't know yet if it's going to be a videotape by President Zelensky. However, the image of women suffering, bringing their kids away, maybe even lying them, because they say we will be back here just to protect their child. I mean, women are really the strong part of this society that they have always to take care of the toughest moment in terms of sensitivity and humanity.
Listen, I know that Zelensky filmed something, I read. I don't know if they're going to show it or not. I wish they would. I think he's such a hero. And he was an actor. You know, it's so crazy. His story is so insane, but the leadership and the courage, what he's demonstrating and how he's, I mean, everyone, listen, the women, of course, are always strong and they're always taking care of the kids. But you have these 18-year-old boys and girls going out there and fighting for their freedom. This is the most disgusting, despicable, unnecessary tragedy of a war. It makes me sick. I wish they would show Zelensky speaking. I don't know why they wouldn't. The word needs to get out. This is a huge platform. And, you know, I know they don't want to get too preachy and it's got to be a celebration, but, you know, you can't deny what's going on in the real world. What's going on, it almost, I mean, movies are so important, but this is what's happening. And we all need to do whatever we can to stop this. And so I think whatever helps, you know, you could say your bit and then go off the stage. But I think I think it's just as important as an artist to be able to express what you're feeling and what you think. And if people have a hard time with that, you know, I don't know what to say. This is bigger than the Oscars. Lives are at stake.
So thank you so much to Gina Gershon, and thank you so much to Francesca Tizzano. It was really nice to have you. I can't wait to have you back in Ischia. And I think that your words, Gina, are very, very important. We hope that tonight is going to be really an important night in terms of human issue, and the whole world is going to focus on this important situation that needs to be taken care. The peace in the Ukrainian is very important, but it's important all over the world. There are so many other places where there are wars, and the war are.
Look at the poor girls in Afghanistan. It kills me. Let's not forget about all the, speaking of the girls in Afghanistan, they can't even go to school again. I mean, just everywhere. I don't know, as human beings, we're just blowing it. We need to really clean up our act and get these horrible people out of there. That's all. Anyway, I love you, Pascal.
Thank you so much. Have a great Sunday. And ciao, Francesca, and ciao, Gina. And let's go back to our documentary about this year, Los Angeles, Italia. Ciao, ciao. Hello, everybody. Welcome back live from Hollywood. This is the name of the show. Actually, I am back in Roma to my office. The festival is over. Today is the Oscar night, and I think that we need to talk with some maestro. Actually, I can see a big maestro. What a maestro! Where is the maestro Terry Gilliam? Where is the maestro Terry Gilliam? I see his chair, but I don't see him. Where is he gone? Where is Maestro Terry Gilliam gone? Where is Maestro Terry Gilliam gone? He is finally the Maestro. Buongiorno.
Hello, buongiorno. Oh, how are you?
I am so happy. I'm so
we meet.
Finalmente, finalmente. I'm so happy, Maestro. How is it going?
I don't know. It's going. Things are happening. We're busy working. I've got in an hour. I've got to sit down and talk to some friends who are part my latest script. So we shall see how that goes. So nice break before the horror of that kind of judgment.
It's the Oscar night. You've been
Sorry?
nominated with your movie Brazil, no?
I've been nominated with several movies, but I'm not paying any attention to the Oscars anymore.
Why not?
Because, I don't know, I think there's other more important things going on in the world to concentrate my attentions on, particularly in the Ukraine. So I find it very hard to even think about movies at the moment.
I realize this is our feeling, and you know, of course, we're trying to focus on our industry in order to make the ball rolling in this moment. However, when such a maestro comes on this issue, you just have to follow him and make the valser. You know, I mean, it's something that I can imagine is really touched your heart as it has been touching everybody art worldwide.
It's particularly because last October I was in Odessa for the film festival there, and the lady who was looking after me and translating, she has had to escape Ukraine. She's now with her father and her little child in some place in Moldova. She has nothing to do. She has no job. She has nothing. It's very sad.
Oh my God. Yes, that's definitely very sad. So this is not anymore the world we have been living for the past at least 50 years, no? 60 years also.
I know. We thought that world was finished, that the world had become more sensible, and certainly, admittedly, there are wars going on in many parts of the world, but not in Europe, and that we thought was the way the future would be. So with Putin's invasion, it has completely thrown everything upside down, inside out. And I think all of us feel so frustrated not being able to understand what we can do to help. That is the difficulty. There's millions and millions of people now without homes, without ways of making a living, and they're here. These are our neighbors in Europe. It's so terrifying.
Yes, yes. I mean, when the reality gets over the fantasy.
Yes, unfortunately, yes. This is not fantasy anymore. It may be the fantasy of one man, Mr. Vladimir Putin, who probably, as a child, was busy watching movies like Eisenstein's Ivan the Terrible and discovering, why can't I be like that? See, movies can be dangerous, I think.
Yes, some way when you watch certain movies and you pick up the wrong part of it, of course, I can imagine what damage it creates to your mind.
Exactly. No, I think that's why I think as movie makers, we have to be very responsible what we say. Uh, because yes, we are a very powerful organization, the movie making business, and so I think our stories that we tell have got to be honest and not just fantasy and not macho bullshit, frankly.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Maestro, please, do you mind if I ask you what are you up to? Because I mean, you are such a legend, such an icon, such a one of the most beloved filmmaker in the world, and the people want to know what are you up to. Sorry if I change the argument.
What am I up to? I've written a script that probably shows my frustrations and anger about the world we happen to be living in at the moment. And I don't want to talk much about it. It's simply that God has decided to wipe out humanity because humanity has made such a mess of the beautiful garden he created for us and all the other animals. Um, it's a very dark movie, but it's also very funny because I think as the darker things become, the more you need humor to survive.
Maestro, whenever I think about you, I always think about Maestro Federico Fellini, because in some way you are on the same page of Maestro Fellini. Now, I've been living the career of Maestro Fellini when he was very, I mean, in the last 10 years of his career. And I remember that his life was very tough in order to find money. I mean, in order to achieve what he wanted, because finally, when he was feeling so mature in order to make the movie that he really wanted to do, then it was difficult for him to find the finance to go over. How is Terry Gilliam life on this branch?
Well, I've clearly been following in Fellini's footsteps because, as you know, it's taken me 30 years to make The Man Who Killed Don Quixote. And the delay was basically down to money. It's always about money. Films are very expensive things to produce. It's not like my days when I was a cartoonist with a piece of paper and a pen. We need lots of money. And it's hard to find it, especially if you're completely independent, when you're trying to not be part of the studio system. Studio films, they're an incredible range and there's many beautiful films made from it, but it's a system that I'm not comfortable working in. So outside that, it's hard work raising money. So it takes so many years to get what you need to do what you want. If I could make smaller films, if my ideas weren't so big, it would be much easier. But unfortunately, what I want to do requires a bit more money than most of the small independent films.
But do you find that in the market at this time of the world, there is respect on somebody like you who has a legendary career?
Well, all I know, I don't know how legendary my career is, but I just know it's always been difficult to make money, not to make money, to get money is the difficulty. And my power, if I have any power as a filmmaker, is it's because some really important actors are willing to work with me. And they're the ones that bring the money, not me.
Yes, but this is an issue that we always discuss about, because your point of view is that you want a movie to be always produced with somebody else money, with me, some financiers. And I think that when you have something very strong to do, you should produce by yourself. In this case, for example, I'm doing now a show on major Italian theater in Roma called Teatro Sistina, and I am producing it because nobody would ever and gave me the chance to do if I was not going to find some money outside of the channel network. So means my point of view is that sometimes when you wanna get some results, you gotta grab it with all your strength. You are not of this line, eh?
No, I am. I grab it with all my strengths. I grab it with all my time. I just am not particularly good at going out and raising money. I'm very useful when the producer needs to take me to dinner with the financer, the person who might give us money. I'm very charming. I'm great fun to be with. And so often I get the money. But it's very interesting how it works. In fact, on Don Quixote, it was my daughter who found the money that we couldn't get, because in almost every instance, I'm able to raise, in the case of Quixote, we needed 16 million euros. All the people I was dealing with, we could get up to about 14, but we were always short, and I knew we couldn't make the film for less than 16. And finally, my daughter met a woman who late in life had come into a lot of money, and she had been very aware of my struggles since 2000, basically trying to get Quixote back alive. And she was very curious to see the film, and luckily she had sufficient money that she could fill the gap that we were lacking. And so the movie was made. Here's what's interesting. The films I made in Hollywood, Fisher King, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and there's one other one. 12 Monkeys, 12 Monkeys. Yes. They were the easiest films I made because the studio system has a lot more money. And for various reasons, they liked the ideas of the films I was doing. It helped that I had people like Brad Pitt, Bruce Willis, Robin Williams, Jeff Bridges involved, Johnny Depp, Benicio del Toro. These are the reasons the films got made. But they were projects that for one reason or another, the studio system was interested in.
So you prefer to work with the studios, or you prefer to be free to make whatever you want?
Well, luckily, when I was working with the studios, I had complete freedom to do what I wanted to do. So there wasn't much difference. They just had the money that made the job easier. That's all. I've been very lucky because every film I've ever made, I have had control of it artistically. And I got to say what I wanted to say in the way I wanted to say it. So I'm very lucky that way.
So you mean that you have never been conditioned cutting a movie?
You know, I've had lots of problems with the cutting of the movie and the release of the movie, but I battle on. In fact, I don't give up because my feeling is that when you've made a project, a film, it's all the people involved who made it, not necessarily the financial people, the creative people, and that's what really counts. And so I will fight to the death to make sure the film is as we, the creative people, had agreed to make. What happens often is the studios, when they see the finished work, panic because it's not whatever they thought it was going to be, but it is exactly what we always intended it to be. And so there's that moment when the panic sets in from the executives who are frightened that they might get blamed for the film's lack of success. And then there's a lot of pressure on me to change the film, to do something about it. But my theory is a very simple one. If the stars of the movie and I are all on the same side, then it's going to be very hard for the studios to change our intentions. So for me, it's always important, whether it's Jeff Bridges and Robin Williams or Bruce Willis and Brad Pitt, that we are all on the same side with the finished film.
Maestro, tonight is the Oscar night, so let's play a little game together in order to please our audience, because it's very unusual to have you making this game. So we're talking about the movie nominated: Nightmare Alley, Don't Look Up, Dune, Drive My Car, Belfast, Licorice Pizza, The Power of the Dog, West Side Story, King Richard, Coda. Who is your favorite? Who's gonna win the Oscar? What do you think?
I don't know. It seems Power of the Dog has been the front runner for a while, but that doesn't mean they will win. I think each of those films have incredibly wonderful qualities in them, and I'm not sure which my favorite actually is. Strangely enough, my favorite film this last year wasn't nominated for anything. It's called Riders for Justice, starring Mads Mikkelsen. That's the film I voted for, but nobody in Hollywood has seen it as far as I know. It's a great film.
Maestro, among the best actor, we have your guy, the one that you gave me the privilege to welcome in Capri Hollywood, Andrew Garfield, for Tick Tick Boom, then Benedict Cumberbatch, Javier Bardem, Denzel Washington, Will Smith. I bet your favorite, I mean, your art is Andrew Garfield, but he's going to make it, or there is no chance with King Richard Will Smith?
I don't know. Andrew did an incredibly wonderful performance, and he really deserves to be nominated. They've all done wonderful performances. That's why I find it very difficult to judge. That's why this year I have not voted at all, because I don't want to be the one responsible for somebody's success or failure.
So
Sorry.
in female side, there is the Ischia girl Jessica Chastain against Kristen Stewart, Penelope Cruz, Olivia Colman, and Nicole Kidman.
Oh,
which one is
that's
your
a hard
favorite?
one. That's very hard. That is very hard. Where's Kate
Jessica
Blanchett
Chastain
in
for
all
The
that?
Eyes of Tammy Faye, Kristen Stewart for Spencer, Penelope Cruz for the movie Madres Paralelas de Pedro Almodovar, Olivia Colman, The Last Daughter, and Nicole Kidman being the Ricardos.
Come on, they're all winners. I'm not going to be the one that says that somebody beats all of those girls. That's why I really resist choosing and even voting, because I think every one of them who has been nominated is fantastic, and they all deserve to win. Because I remember a few years ago at the Oscars or BAFTA, George Clooney and Brad Pitt were there, and neither of them won. And I congratulated them on being incredibly talented losers. And I think they at least laughed at that.
Maestro, I think that here you might have an opinion, because Billie Eilish is gonna perform and run for No Time to Die, the James Bond movie. Then there is Diane Warren, one more time nominated, my sister Diane Warren, Somehow You Do. Be Alive, Beyoncé, Dos Oruguitas, Lin-Manuel Miranda, and Down to Joy, Van Morrison.
Oh, come on. It's got to be Van. Van's the best women singer out there. He's up against all these women and fantastic. He's going to beat them this time. No, Van Morrison is just a brilliant musician, has been for years. And so I don't know if he has ever won the Oscar. Maybe this is his lucky year. I hope so.
Among the animation feature, there is an Italian director who I love very much, Enrico Casarosa, but it seems that Encanto is the favorite, although Flea is very much loved. Do you have an opinion?
No, I actually haven't seen any of the animated features this year, unfortunately.
But do you
like
animation
I've missed out
movies?
on a lot of films. Sorry?
Do you like animation movies?
I've been avoiding them for a few years. I've always thought Pixar has been so brilliant. And since I was an animator once upon a time, I got depressed because they were so much better than anything I could ever do. So I stopped watching them to avoid more depression. Sorry, guys.
Maestro, then we're talking about international feature film. Drive My Car, Flee, Lunana, The End of God, and The Worst Person in the World. Who is your favorite?
I'm going to stick. I'm going to stick with Riders for Justice. That's the only one I'm voting for, despite the fact that it has not been nominated. Shame on the Academy. So I won't vote for the others because I know my favorite. Come on.
But you didn't watch the Italian movie, The End of God?
Yeah, wonderful. Very good movie. Very good.
What do you think about Paolo
into
Sorrentino?
I bumped into Paolo just a few weeks ago. There was a BAFTA party, pre-BAFTA, and I got to see him again. So that was very nice. It's a lovely movie. And
what do you think about Paolo Sorrentino?
I think he's a really excellent director. He's got a great eye. He's got a great sense. And I think what I liked about Hand of God, it was a more personal story. And I think that really came through. It was very important.
But it seems that Drive My Car is the front runner.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to now watch it because it might win and I'll be forced to watch it.
About the original screenplay, which is actually the basement of any good movie, the original screenplay, we have my friend Adam McKay for Don't Look Up. Then you have your friend, I suppose, Kenneth Branagh, Belfast, Paul Thomas Anderson, Licorice Pizza, The Worst Person in the World, Joachim Trier, Eskil Voigt, and Zach Balin for King Richard. Who is your favorite?
Well, I love Adam McKay. I just think he's got a great mind. He's got a great way of presenting dark or complicated problems in a very entertaining and very funny way. So I think I'll vote for him.
Maestro, about Best Supporting Actor, you have this guy who's the front runner, Troy Kotsur for Coda. This is the outsider movie of the evening. Then you have Cody Smith McPhee for The Power of the Dog, J.K. Simmons for Being the Ricardos, Sharon Hines for Belfast, and Jesse Plemons for The Power of the Dog.
What happened to Mike Feist, or Feist, however it's pronounced, who played Riff in West Side Story? He was extraordinary. He actually stole the film. And I've talked to a lot of other people who had the same reaction, and yet somehow he has not been nominated for Best Supporting Actor. So I'm going to vote for him, even though he's not nominated. Let's see if there's enough people out there voting for non-nominated people.
Maestro, Best Supporting Actress. We have one more time Kirsten Dunst, The Power of the Dog, Ariana DeBose, West Side Story, Jessie Buckley, The Lost Daughter, Ayuna Ellis, King Richard, and Judi Dench, one more time, the wonderful Judi Dench for Belfast.
I'm going for the lady from, I've just forgot her name. What's her name? The one in The Lost Daughter. She was actually fantastic.
So Jessie Buckley.
What's her name again? Yeah,
Jessie
I thought she was terrific. I thought she was fantastic. So that's a very clear vote for an actually nominated person. This is an exciting moment, Pascal. We're moving forward here.
Maestro, now we have your colleagues. Will Jane Campion make against Kenneth Branagh for Belfast? Ruise Amaguchi for Drive My Car, Steven Spielberg for West Side Story, and Paul Thomas Anderson for Licorice Pizza? Of course, Jane Campion for The Power of the Dog.
I'm going for Jane. Jane's the gal. I think she did a brilliant job with that film. And I've always thought she's been a fantastic director for years. So good luck to her. I'm voting for her.
So, Best Adapted Screenplay, The Last Daughter, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Dune, Denis Villeneuve, Eric Roth, and sometime more, Drive My Car, The Power of the Dog, and Coda. Who's going to win here?
I think I'll probably go for Power of the Dog as well.
So you think?
I think it was a
So you think
really
that the Power
interesting
of the Dog is
story.
yes?
Yeah.
Then there are also
It was very interesting.
the technical awards, and of course the best original score: Encanto, Don't Look Up, Dune, Hans Zimmer, The Power of the Dog, and Madres Paralelas. I mean, this is more to ask to Tony Renis. Best cinematography:
Okay,
Nightmare Alley.
I'm gonna vote. Yep, I'm gonna vote without having to remember any of the music. I'm gonna go for Madres Paralelas because I love Spanish composers.
You love. I remember you wanted to make a festival in Ibiza. Actually, you did.
We had Roque Banos doing the music for the man who killed Don Quixote, and he was fantastic. I've always found the music from Spanish composers always so powerful, so ears unheard for the Spaniard.
Maestro, best cinematography: Nightmare Alley, Dune, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story. Who is your favorite?
Oh God, this is a tricky one.
Cinematography is very important for a director,
I thought Dune was beautiful, and I thought The Tragedy of Macbeth was beautiful. I'm not sure which one. If I can get a coin, I can flip the coin and see. Okay, I'm flipping a coin. Oh, it's The Tragedy of Macbeth one. Look at that.
Okay. I don't know if you are good enough in judging custom. I know you are, but I don't want to involve you in this votation.
Gabriele Piscucci. Gabriele Piscucci wins costume.
There is this guy who actually is very close to Gabriela, Massimo Cantini Parrini. So let's cross the finger for Cyrano.
I'll vote for Massimo. Yes.
Yes. Then also the editor is very important collaborator for a director. So we have Don't Look Up, Dune, Tick Tick Boom, The Power of the Dog, and King Richard. Who is the favorite for Terry Gilliam?
I think King Richard should get something, so I'll vote for King Richard.
Will Smith, we might get the best actor.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
Until then, I'll give him one award.
Best production design. Unfortunately, there is not Dante Ferretti here, otherwise we would know who to vote. But there is Nightmare Alley, Dune, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story.
That is really hard. Dune was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Macbeth was brilliant. And Nightmare Alley was brilliant. All three. I'll vote for all three of those.
Okay.
West Side
I love to make these. I love to make this game with you. This makes me really upset. Really, this is like phenomenal. To have you commenting, to making the forecast of the Oscar is phenomenal. So, Maestro, we have been doing this festival this year, Los Angeles 17th annual, and it has been wonderful to honor Dante Spinotti, that now is shooting a movie with Trudy Styler in Napoli. So it was a blast to have him with me a few days ago, as I have you with me. Do you like Dante Spinotti's work?
Spinotti is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So congratulations to him. That's great. However, personally, I would like to dedicate this edition of Capri Hollywood to Lena Wertmuller, the greatest woman director in the history of cinema.
Well, Maestro, if you tell me what you think about Lena Wertmuller, what is your opinion? Why do you think so? I get something that I show you. Alberto, inquadra il Maestro.
Now, Lena is extraordinary. I mean, first of all, Fellini was like a god to me. And then Lena was his assistant for a while. But then when I started seeing her movies, I thought maybe Lena is even a greater filmmaker than Federico, because Lena had a much more social
conscience, more of a political conscience. And her movies are so extraordinary. The mixture between beauty, passion, anger, it just blows me away. What I remember back in, I think, 1963, I was living in New York. And at that time, there were 4 of her movies playing all at the same time in New York. No other director in history had ever had 4 of their own pictures playing at the same time. And what's sad is so many people have forgotten Lena Wertmuller. I've talked to other filmmakers who, when I say Lena Wertmuller, they don't know who I'm talking about. And she is astonishing. She was so strong with such a great spirit inside of her, a spirit for humanity in all of its glory and horribleness. And that's why I think she needs to be, treated with the respect and honor that she deserves. When they talk now about women in films, they seldom mention her. And she is the greatest. And I have to thank you, Pascal, for Capri Hollywood, where I got to know Lena. And that,
So I have to also to thank you because you gave me a lot of support in making this happen. This was my favorite night ever, when Lena got the Oscar by Sofia Loren and Isabella Rossellini, and on that night she was also Jane Campion on stage welcoming Lena. And I cannot ever forget that Lena on that night gave the best speech ever, telling that the Oscar should change gender, should become a woman called Anna. This is just a typical Lena Vermüller's sense of humor that is also Terry Gilliam's sense of humor.
No, she was wonderful. I just think the world has got to be, there should be a retrospective of all of her work so people can rediscover how extraordinary and important she was.
So tonight Lena would be very happy because Jane Campion might win the Oscar as a woman, and so we are all thrilled for the Oscar, and I really can't thank enough the legendary maestro Terry Gilliam. And I tell you in front of everybody that we are expecting you in Ischia, July 10-17, for another wonderful festival. It's going to be the 20th annual Ischia Global Film and Music Festival. So it's going to be really something special, and I hope you're going to be with your family. We want to celebrate you. We want to really give back to you all our love. We miss you since 2-3 years now, and our life is not the same if you are not around us.
Thank you. So yes,
we wait for
Italy this year. Back to Italy, we will be there.
We love you, Maestro Terry Gilliam. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thanks. God bless humanity, and God save what does it remains of Ukraine.
For Ukraine, yes. We all want the people of Ukraine to know that they are not forgotten, that we are thinking about them all the time, wishing them strength. And we want to apologize. All of us want to apologize for the Vladimir Putins of this world. How have we allowed them to become so powerful that they can behave so horribly to our neighbors? So good luck, Ukraine. We are fighting for you from some distance, I'm sorry to say.
Okay. So we have a beautiful surprise. We're honored that the Los Angeles Italia Film Festival gets to have a wonderful Oscar-nominated director again for this incredible movie that you just saw, with his personal and moving story to his life, which I'm sure he will tell you about. And of course, he's already, all of us, we need to wish him luck to win this year again after 2014 with the great beauty, La Grande Bellezza. We're so blessed to have him here tonight. And the moderator of the Q&A will be the director of the Italian Cultural Institute. Where is he? Emanuele Amendola. Please welcome to the stage Paolo Sorrentino.
Thank you very much. She's Lidia, my translator.
Okay, here we are. Can you hear me okay up there? No. Is this on? Okay, I guess. Is this on? No. Okay, fine. We will share. What a great honor being here with you, Paolo, tonight. Actually, you have to know, I had the luck and privilege to meet Paolo Sorrentino last October. We were in Washington, D.C., and the promotion of The Hand of God was in full swing. And tonight, we are here again, and Paolo is in the running for Best International Feature at the Academy Awards. For the second time, he already won with The Great Beauty in 2014. So, Paolo, how does it feel to be back to Los Angeles and waiting for the big night?
I am very happy, very relaxed. The front runner is another guy, so I am very, I am ready to go to the ceremony and to see the winner in front of me.
No, you're always too modest. So, obviously, the audience here is all keeping their fingers crossed. So let's start from the beginning. The Hand of God is obviously and probably your most intimate film ever. It is your story. So how did you know and when did you know that this was the right time to tell your story to the audience?
2 years ago, I turned on 50, and I thought it was the right moment to do a movie that was important for me. I don't know. 50 was an age that I started to do the bilanci, come si dice? To take stock. And so I decided to do this movie. So that's it. There are not too many movies that a director, a filmmaker can do after the 50s, because it's a very tiring work. So I have to choose the most important movies I want to do, and this was the first of the list of the movies that I want to do.
And yes, obviously, because as we mentioned, you talk about your personal story. Was it a process that, in a way, changed the way you look at your past, at your childhood? What did you learn from making this film?
Nothing, because it was my story. I knew my story. I didn't learn nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah.
Well, obviously, what I meant is, like, you might look at things from a different perspective. But talking about perspectives, let's talk a little bit about Filippo Scotti, who is very talented, is so brilliant in this film. So I wanted to ask you, how did you cast him, and how did you know he was the right one to play this part?
He was the best actor I met among many young Napolitan actors, and he was shy, not at ease with the world. It was exactly what I was looking for. And after several auditions, he confirmed that he was able to play the main character of a movie. Yeah. That was the reason why I chose him. Yeah.
Obviously, great. He did a great job. So I also wanted to mention another important person who worked on this film, the director of photography, Dario Antonio, because the visuals and the photography of the film is just amazing. I was working with her, and what did you try to capture together?
It was great. We know each other since many years, because she was the camera operator of all my previous movies, and we worked together for other commercials or short movies where she was my DOP. Then she made several movies with other directors, and it was great. And then she comes from Naples. She knows very well the city, and also our families come more or less from a similar origin, and so we didn't need to talk too much about this movie. She knew the environment, the mood, and the city, and so it was very easy to work with her.
And this actually, it's a very good link to my next question, because this film also tells us a lot about Naples. You know, The Great Beauty was your tribute to Rome, and this is in a way your tribute to Naples. So what did you want to represent of Naples on screen, and what do you want the audience to know about Naples, especially the non-Italian audience?
No, nothing, because Naples is a dangerous city. All directors that try to describe Naples, they meet many people that say no, but it's not right, it's not correct. So in order to avoid this risk, the only thing I did was to put on the stage the city that I was used to know when I was young. So nobody can say, no, this is not real. It's real because it's exactly the places where I grew up, and the places that I knew when I was young in Naples. So there is not an idea about Naples. There is just the Naples that I knew.
Thank you. And actually, this brings me to another aspect of your film. One of the most interesting and significant part of the film is the conversation between Fabietto and Capuano. And something very important is said there, which is a cosa serve il cinema? A niente, però distrae da cosa? Dalla realtà. And I'm summarizing in English. What's the purpose of cinema? It doesn't serve any purpose, but its point is that it can distract you from reality, which is mediocre, which is a great paradox, because this film is about reality, it's about your life. But what I wanted to ask you is, what did Capuano teach you that you value the most, and who else also had an influence on you during your growing up?
Capuano influenced me because he is always full of vitality, exactly the opposite of me, and so I tried to learn his vitality without having success. But it was important for me to insist to try to do this work, and then we had a wonderful relationship based on the disagreement, about everything, and this was very stimulating for me, more than for him. Yeah.
So, I have two more questions before I go to my last question. And they're going to be very brief. It's something that many people ask me, curiosities that probably you've been asked many times before. So the first one is about the character of the sister. What is she doing constantly in the bathroom? I have to tell you, I grew up in a household with 3 older sisters. And when I think about my childhood, one of the things I remember the most is long waiting times for the bathroom.
I don't know what she did because she was in the bathroom, I was outside, so I don't know. What to? I can even, because she was older than me of 13 years, so I can imagine that she was making up, put makeup on for the boyfriend. I imagine. I don't know if there are more serious problems. I don't know.
The same case with my sister too. And second question about Maradona, but I would like to add something else to that, because obviously you've been asked many times, have you ever met Maradona? But also what I wanted to ask you is, what do you think he would think, or what would you like he would think if we could see this film?
This is a good question. I don't know. No, I met Maradona once. After that I won the award, he called me, but I was on the plane going back to Rome, and the hostess said to me, switch off the phone, so I didn't speak with him. And second time I met in a football match, but he was arguing with the girlfriend. So he was not too much available to speak with other people. He was fighting. So my meeting, so I don't know what I want. I would love to, but it's impossible, of course, to meet him and to speak slowly, without distractions, but it's not possible. But I don't know what, I don't know.
So, no, and really the last question for you, which is also for our audience here in the room, what would you like people to take away from this film? What is the message that you would like to inspire?
No, it's very important that the movies must not have the message. This is the most important condition in order to do a good movie. At any rate, the movie has a small idea in the end, above all for the young people, and the idea is that there is a future for everybody also, even if sometime in the life of a young person is difficult to understand that there is the future, because sometimes the future looks like dark and hidden. Yeah, that's it.
It's a very powerful message of hope
Thank you.
Is much needed, especially these days, considering what's going on in the world. And before leaving you, I would like to call back on stage our kind host, actress Sofia Milo, for the last part of the program. And again, Paolo, grazie mille for spending this time with us tonight. Paolo Sorrentino.
So I go.
No, stay.
I stay.
Because we have a little surprise for you.
Whose microphone? Okay. No, you're staying, the guest of honor. Just one more minute, something special. I would like to invite on the stage our Consul General, Silvia Chiave, who is going to give you an award.
Thank you very much.
Bravo Paolo, grazie. Some of us has seen the movie for the third or the fourth time. Che questo premio sia di buonissimo auspicio. We're so proud of you, Paolo. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Salve a tutti. Hello everybody. Il maestro Tony Renis, the honorary president of Los Angeles, Italia.
Hello, how are you? Love you so much. I'm sorry that I can't be there, but I am there with you with all my heart. I love you so much.
Tony Renis, a life in Los Angeles, and I have to tell you something. If this festival is happening since 2006, is because il maestro has always pushing me to do, Pascal, you have to make something happen very cool in Los Angeles. And we are very proud that it's happening. And tonight I'm very, very happy because with Maestro we sing hello, we greeting, and three wonderful Italian people who actually are going to be honored tonight by Miss Silvia Chiave, who's actually, as you all know, the Consul General of Italy in Los Angeles, and then the new chief of the Italian Institute of Culture, Manuele Amendola. And I'm very grateful to him for all this support. I also want to say hi to Alessandra Rinaldi of the Italian Trade Commission, who's making a major effort in order to support American cinema. So we want to also congratulate three people who actually are connected with the Oscars. So two that are going to shake as il maestro Tony Renis shaked when he was nominated for the movie Questo Camelot
for the Oscar.
For the Oscar, The Prayer.
I won the Golden Globe.
You won the Golden Globe. And so we are talking about Massimo Cantini Parrini. Ciao Massimo.
Ciao Massimo.
Also, buonasera signora Cantini Parrini. And so che lei è lì con Massimo.
Massimo, I vote for you, okay? You must win.
E poi questo genio, this genius, Enrico Casarosa, who's actually the genius that Pixar, Disney got for directing this movie, Luca. What a wonderful. And then, Tony, talking about giants, talking about legends, we have to congratulate Maestro Dante Spinotti.
Dante, I love you. Dante, say, we talked about you last night. I'm telling you.
Yeah?
True, eh? Last night, I had a dinner with my brother, Vittorio Storaro, and I was talking about you, and I was asking him. He said, Vittorio, what do you think? To be honest with me, what do you think about Dante Spinotti? And he told me, he's number one, is the greatest
cinematographer.
He's Dante Spinotti. Dante, that's the truth. Vittorio Storaro loves you, and we were talking about you last night.
And so,
love you.
And so then, of course, we have to remind also Paolo Sorrentino, congratulations to him, and cross the finger for Sunday.
Yes,
so thank you
cross the
again.
finger.
We are very, very thankful for making this event happen. I hope that next year we will be back all together in Los Angeles with the Maestro Tony Renis and all of you for another amazing event, Los Angeles, Italia. Ciao!
Ma Pascal, I want to know, which kind of sigla you choose for our festival?
Dimmi quando tu verrai.
Okay. I dedicate my song, Quando, to all of you from the bottom of my heart. Tell me when will you be mine? Tell me quando. Love you so much.
Ciao. Grazie.
Love you.
Thank you. Thank you, Emanuele. And I think on behalf of many of us that have been in Los Angeles just a little bit longer, I'd like to say welcome to Los Angeles. I think you might like it. We'll hope so. And I also want to thank Consul Chiave for this event. And it's truly an honor to share the stage with this group. First of all, everybody on stage here tonight, as well as, of course, Paolo Sorrentino, are twice nominated for the Academy Award. I can't think of a better testament to, I think, the quality and the contributions of Italian art and craft of cinema than that fact, as well as the numbers that Emanuele told us just now. So welcome, benvenuti. Benvenuto, non ci siamo incontrati, ma giusto in tempo. And complimenti to everybody here. So Emanuele introduced everybody. Perhaps I can add a couple of things, starting from right here, Maestro Dante Spinotti, well deserved. I first met Dante on a set, a movie set in Arizona. You probably don't remember, but a group of us journalists were taken, about a dozen from Los Angeles, and taken to the middle of the desert outside of Tucson, if I recall. And there was a set there with the actress was Sharon Stone.
Sharon Stone, Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi with the tie,
Director, yes.
obviously. There was a very shy Australian who had just come over. He was practicing gunslinging, Russell Crowe.
Not really shy.
No, not so shy. But maybe the kid was pretty shy still, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes, yes. It definitely showed to be a talent immediately, you know, even though
Yes.
he only had made one movie when we did
Yes.
The Quick and the Dead.
Yes. He had done
this
Gilbert Grape.
immediate,
Yes.
yeah, very young. Immediate talent, you could see.
Amazing. This was a movie that Sam Raimi directed, and it was really a tribute, an homage to Sergio Leone in some ways. And by coincidence, there was a man behind the camera with a fedora, if I recall, a hat, and it was Dante Spinotti. Yes.
Yes, we had the costumes by Juliana Makowski, who has been an assistant of Milena Canonero in many occasions. And she actually went to Rome to find and buy the costumes for
the film.
Sam Raimi movie, you know, within all the costumes that were designed for the Sergio Leone movie.
Yes.
So the reference was very close.
Clear.
Yeah.
Enrico Casarosa was nominated for an Academy Award I think about 10 years ago, La Luna.
10 years exactly.
10
Yes,
years
we-
exactly, so he likes to come back. It was a lovely short film, very, very poetic, that was done at Pixar already.
That's correct, yeah.
Where Enrico Casarosa works. He's originally from Liguria, which is a region that some of my family is from as well. So, and a lot of that region is in his film Luca, nominated as Best Animated Film, an amazing work of art. Congratulations. Massimo Cantini Parrini, also the second nomination. I believe you were nominated just 1 year ago or two with Pinocchio.
1 year ago, yeah, for Pinocchio.
Pinocchio by Matteo Garrone, a director who you have worked with more than once. And you are here with another amazing, imaginific, I don't think that exists in English, but a beautiful film with beautiful costumes, Cyrano. So welcome back, and congratulations. I guess we can kind of begin tonight by taking advantage of Dante's presence. We mentioned that movie where we met, but a couple of years after that, I was back on a set looking for you because you had been nominated for LA Confidential, which was an amazing Curtis Hanson movie, so Los Angeles, a beautiful noir, very atmospheric. And of course, you had worked already on many, many films at that point, starting in Italy with people like Gabriele Salvatore, Liliana Cavani, Ermanno Olmi. We're talking history of film here. And when you came back to Los Angeles, you worked with Michael Apted, Curtis Hanson. A couple of years after LA Confidential, you had worked with Michael Mann and were nominated again for The Insider. Can I start by asking you, how was the transition from working in Italy to coming here and pretty quickly working with the top directors of Hollywood?
You know, that was the transition. I would say definitely a difficult transition because for me, my wife knows very well, my idea was that coming to work in Hollywood was the right idea. I had just left the Italian state television, for which I worked for a long time, and turned into a freelance in Italy, was there for 2 or 3 years, and then came here, thanks to Dino De Laurentiis, who had a studio in Carolina, and thanks to his wife also, Marta De Laurentiis, who I'm happy to remember here. She's not longer with us, she passed away. So thanks to Dino, you know, I moved to the States, and my first movie was a movie with Michael Mann. It was very complicated. The transition is very difficult. Why? Because, well, first of all, you risk a little as you do that. But if you have the passion behind you, the risk becomes, you know, the only solution. The transition is difficult because you don't know anybody. So you don't have a crew with you, you know, you're working with new people, and it takes a little bit of time to make yourself known and make yourself, however, if you trust your talent, which is the only thing really that I could really trust on, you know, my ability to distinguish between shadows and light, you keep going, you endure the difficulties, this is the main thing. Probably my effect of being from Carnia is an advantage on this, because we are known for being kind of, you know, there's someone here from Friuli or Trieste that I just met, and yes, we are known for being sort of hard-headed in a way, and that's what kind of helped a lot, enduring frustrations and difficulties.
Wonderful. And I believe Michael Mann said you painted with light when I asked him about your work. So I think that was high praise from somebody that you called a scientist of cinema. Is that why? What did you mean by that?
Well, the intensity of Michael Mann's work and the study of that Michael does on the movie way of communicating, you know, the movie's language is at a very high level. I mean, it takes these studies to a kind of a scientific level. That's why, you know, and that's why Michael is. I consider Michael to be like that, and he also changes all the time. He renews his way of communicating all the time. The elements of the storytelling, the language of the film becomes new all the time. This is what makes it so interesting. Like Umberto Eco said in his book, The Absent Structure, you can't call anything art unless the elements, the science, the elements of communicating with an audience or with the public are renewed, are new. In this sense, an artist is an artist for whole humanity, right? Because now, I don't think we are artists, we filmmakers. Maybe they don't disagree, but I don't think I think we are just very good craftsmen. We have to do with a lot of difficulties, you know, time constraint, money, you need to work at speed, you know, the weather changes and all these kind of things, the mood of people, the crew. But for some kind of miracle, a film can be a work of art, because it can be a work of art because it's a combined effort. I mean, it's a group operation. This is what, this kind of the magic of cinema is here in making the film. I don't think you can divide films in author films or non-author films, as we used to do very intensely in the 70s. I think you can only say divide films between good movies and not so good movies.
I think maybe you're artist engineers. Huh? Walt Disney called them Imagineers. Maybe that's a word, I don't know. But maybe Enrico, speaking of that somehow now works in a Disney-connected studio at Pixar, and I think you spent some time in art school growing up. You come from Genova, as I said, and tell us a little bit the short version of how does the road go from Genova to Emeryville, you know, where Pixar is. How does that work?
A lot of small little steps. Yeah, it took a long while. For me, it started with drawing instead of studying. Probably I love to sketch, so I was in engineering actually for 2 years. It wasn't going so well, and then I decided to really, you know, change my goal toward, you know, illustration, and I didn't understand animation at the time, but I just knew I loved comics and I loved stories. So I went to Milan and I started studying illustration. So I come from just really the drawing side, and then had a feeling that in the US there would be something for me. Just I was interested in animation. I grew up with so many of the cartoons on TV. A lot of them were Japanese, and for my generation, strangely. But you know, I started putting together that, you know, oh, this is a drawing that can move. I can actually move a character by drawing it over and over, and that really fascinated me. So I chased my dreams into New York, trying to study, and so that was the big leap. And in many ways, the kid at the end of Luca, spoiler if you haven't seen it, but it's a lot me getting on a plane. He gets on a train, but it's very much that a moment of that most immigrants have probably have dealt with both the hope of the future and feeling like you're going towards something hopeful and new, and the sadness of having to leave your country, your family, your friends behind. So I took that leap, and then really slowly, with a lot of work, and I was studying and working in New York City. I started, putting my foot in the door in small little TV animation studios, worked on a lot of crappy little TV series, and then slowly made my way to, creating a portfolio and really showing your work is how you go forward in animation. And that drawing turned into filmmaking, becoming a storyboard artist. So as a storyboard artist, you were drawing moments and sequences. So for many years, I was just a story artist for other movies. For Ice Age, I was one of them, and then Ratatouille. And so slowly you learn the craft. It is a craft, and then you kind of start asking yourself, what kind of stories do I want to tell? What kind of stories do I want to share with the world? And that's how I started making my own comics, and then I made La Luna, which was the short that got me to the first nomination. So that's a bit the road. But whenever I talk to young people, there's a lot of like, how do I get into Pixar? I was like, well, there were like around 25 other steps before it to take some leaps of faith.
Well, I think you ended up in the perfect place, as your film shows. Obviously, film is produced by Pete Docter, who is one of the handful of main directors up there, and probably the most introspective, I think, with films like Soul and Inside Out. And so I think it must have really worked. Given how your film is also a coming-of-age film, a very personal film about friendship, about displacement, belonging, very fantasy, but also very, again, has a sense of place, which is so strong. And you were able to close that circle. I think you premiered this film at the Acquario di Genova, right? Yeah, and I have to tell you that I was there a couple of months later, and there were already restaurants in Boccadassa, I remember, that were offering spaghetti alla Luca. So, I mean, it came home. You came home.
I didn't know that. That's amazing. Yes.
I want to ask Massimo then. You are here as one of the most consistently awarded categories for Italian designers, costume design. And I personally am so happy that it was not moved from the main ceremony and is still in its rightful place. And again, you were here just a year ago, so this year I think the ceremony will be bigger and more normal than it was last year. But I did want to ask you, you are nominated for Cyrano. Just looking at some of the nominations that Italy has had for costumes, among, I count about 10. There was Piero Gherardi in the 60s for Dolce Vita and Otto e Mezzo.
He won.
He won,
Yeah.
yeah. Then there was, these are wins, Nino Novarese for Cleopatra in 1964 and Cromwell in 1971. Danilo Donati in 1969 for Romeo and Juliet, and Casanova in 1971. Again, Fellini has been great for costumes. Milena Canonero, Barry Lyndon in 1975, Kubrick. Chariots of Fire in 1981, Maria Antoinette in 2006, of course, a master. Francesca Squarciapino in 1990 won for
another
Cyrano de Bergerac. So again, no pressure. Yes.
Good luck.
Yes, I think it's luck. And then Gabriella Pescucci, Age of Innocence since 1994. Did you worked with
No,
her? No, you
just
did.
a few years later.
Oh, I see. Yeah. But I did want to ask you, tell us a little bit about your percorso, about your road. I think you studied in Florence, right? And then at the Polimoda, which is a fashion school, and then at the Università di Firenze, and then you went to Centro Sperimentale and worked with Piero Tosi, another legend, many Visconti movies, right? How did you then begin to work?
Okay. I speak English, but I want to be more refined with this beautiful lady that she's going to translate for me. Allora, no, è un percorso lungo, nel senso che io ho iniziato da bambino ad avere questa passione per i costumi.
It has been a long journey. I started having a passion for costumes ever since I was a child.
Ma perché la mia nonna materna lavorava in una sartoria a Firenze e io dei pomeriggi andavo a trovarla e rimanevo affascinato dalle stoffe che vedevo arrotolate in questa stanza enorme e che da bidimensionali poi si trasformavano tridimensionali su manichino, e per un bambino insomma è un po' una magia, no? Vedere una cosa che da piatta si trasforma tipo origami in una roba animata.
So my grandmother used to sew. She was a couturière basically, and I was fascinated by the work that she did, and I used to go to the workshop where she used to work, and I was fascinated by the material that took on a tridimensional aspect once it became, from being a piece of material, it became a piece of clothing, and then it was put on a mannequin. I was just fascinated by that.
Dopodiché questa fascinazione per l'abito, che è la cosa che è più vicina all'essere umano, ha fatto sì che ho iniziato ad aprire degli armadi di famiglia e a cercare delle cose che magari qualcuno aveva conservato come appunto ricordo, quindi abiti da sposa oppure abiti particolari, ed ho iniziato una collezione mia di abiti antichi che poi è proseguita nel tempo, e oggi ho più di 4.000 pezzi che vanno dalla fine del 600 fino agli anni 90 del Novecento, quando ancora il vintage era lontano da venire, quindi si trovavano delle cose veramente belle e nessuno le voleva. E sono stato un po', insomma, però la mia fortuna è stata quella di avere un interesse da subito, che è raro insomma per un ragazzo giovane avere un pallino fin da piccolo che puoi comunque trasformare in realtà.
And so it was wonderful then to see this transformation. But I have to say that after that, I became very aware of clothing. And I started looking into the closets in our house, in our family, and I started to discover the most wonderful pieces of clothing, from brides' dresses to other types of clothing. And this made me decide to start my own collection. I have a wonderful collection made up of almost 4,000 pieces, and I have pieces that go back to the 1600s all the way to the 1990s. And I found things that many people didn't even want to look at, and now I have them. And it's becoming rare and rare to be able to find these wonderful pieces. And I have this wonderful luck of having found what I loved to do when I was very young.
Quindi il cinema per me è un veicolo importante che mi serve per ricreare quello che a me piace. Io non, avrei voluto fare lo storico del costume in verità, però poi ho capito che non si mangiava tanto e allora ho iniziato, ho detto vediamo un po' se riusciamo a trasformarlo in un lavoro in cui... Ed è nata una passione enorme al centro sperimentale con Piero Tosi che mi ha aperto veramente la mente. Io sono un suo allievo, però siamo rimasti amici per 25 anni, quindi è un rapporto che è andato avanti nel tempo. Ed è stato un insegnamento raro, perché Piero non era un professore, i suoi erano dei racconti. Mi sentivo un po' come nella Grecia antica, no? Quando venivano tramandate le cose, ed è lì che infondi veramente la passione a una persona, più che a obbligarla a studiare, anche perché poi è una scuola che scegli tu, quindi dai piacere quello che fai.
And I find that cinema is almost like a vehicle, and that's why I've become a historian of costumes. I also realized early on that that wasn't going to give me enough to be able to eat. So then I decided to become a costumist. I was also very lucky to have gone to the experimental center with Piero Tosi, who was my great professor. We knew each other for about 25 years. I should say, however, that he wasn't really a professor to me. He taught me things that are passed on through the ages like they used to do in ancient Greece.
E niente, poi sono qui, non so neanche io perché, nel senso che io ogni volta che faccio qualcosa rinizierei da capo, perché non sono mai felice, perché devono togliermi gli abiti da sotto mano, perché io continuerei a lavorarci, non lo so, per mesi, non sono mai contento, mai. Perché è così, è una passione come l'amore, nessuno è mai felice fino in fondo, quindi la vivo un po' così.
And so here I am, and here I am, I'm working hard, I love to work.
Non so perché sono qua.
That's why, I really don't know why I'm here, actually. All I know is that I love to work. I could keep on working non-stop. This is really a passion for me. It's almost like being in love. You never really know how to realize what to do with it, but it eventually works out.
I guess that passion can be applied to very different projects. Dogman, the look of that film certainly does not have much in common with the look of Cyrano. Do you have to change very much from job to job, or is it just different aspects of the same passion for you?
No, ogni lavoro naturalmente ha un suo mondo da rappresentare. Trovo molta difficoltà ad affrontare i film contemporanei, perché la contemporaneità, avendola sempre davanti agli occhi, è difficile tradurla, mentre in un film in costume è già tutto chiuso nel passato e quindi c'è anche meno margine di discussione. Nei film contemporanei poi tutti parlano, cioè non sta zitto nessuno, cioè gli attori parlano, cioè questo mi sta bene, mi sta male, mi fa grassa, il colore non mi piace, cioè tutto un rompimento all'ennesima potenza. Nel costume invece quello ti metti, cioè, capito? E poi più materia mia, nel senso mi piace di più. Il moderno è un po' più fare shopping per gli altri, che odio. Per questo uso molto il vintage e cerco un po' di sempre riadattarlo, che è quello un po' anche che ho fatto con Dogman.
Yes, I would much rather work in period pieces using costumes, because each and every job is a world in its own. In modern and contemporary films, what we have actors that talk all the time. They're telling you, well, I don't like this. This makes me look too big, too fat, too small, whatever. So I'd rather do period pieces. And it's like shopping for others. It's I'm going out there and looking for vintage pieces. I rather enjoy that.
Grazie mille. Dante, Massimo, I think, was just referring to the collaborative aspect of filmmaking. in the good and the bad. But I mean, cinematographers must be, I don't know if there's a closer relationship, perhaps editors as well, with the directors as you're making a film. You have worked with a variety of directors, but there's a few that you've worked with, again, over and over. And you've even had the experience, I'm not sure if many have, of doing the same film twice with two different filmmakers, right? Red Dragon, which you shot 2 times. Give us a sense of how that rapporto, how that relationship informs your work.
Like a colleague of mine said, David working after a movie, yes, the director also matters when you make a movie. It's definitely a collaborative effort. I mean, it's about reading, understanding the story. It's also for us about, part of our profession is also to understand what goes on in the head of the director. Because if we do understand, then we can change everything. I mean, I can take the director in a different direction, directions, if I do understand what is in his mind, what he thinks of doing. Because, of course, if you don't do a movie with the director, there is no movie. The relationship director and actors is the fundamental relationship in the whole movie set. So all we do is also between our things. Between the idea, the main idea is to do something which is functional to the storytelling. And of course, the early preparation work with the director is important. Every director has a different way of working. With some directors, we decide what to do with the camera, we suggest. There's even one director recently, a great friend of mine, of course I like him, who was telling the actor, you know, Dante said you guys should enter. Wait a minute. I said, no, I didn't say anything. You go ahead and tell the actors what to do. So there are many, many different ways. A director like Michael Mann is extremely precise. He really likes to control everything, like we know about other directors in history. Others take care of their story, and they ask you to deal with the storytelling, with the camera, with the filmic kind of language. The main thing, again, is great collaboration, meaning, and that has a lot to do also with the attitude of the director on a movie set. You do see movies in which there's a beautiful relationship between the work of the costume designer, which is extremely important, the work with the production designer, the guy who designs the sets, and the light of the camera work of the cameraman and the director. When that is achieved, you have the finest, I think, results in terms of a visual and a functional storytelling situation. Because ultimately, it's all about telling a story. It's not about doing pretty pictures or being good at lighting and photography. It's about, you know, telling a story that involves the audience and makes the audience forget that they are looking at a movie screen. But they fall inside the story. Functionality.
Enrico, I think a lot of people don't realize that even in your world of virtual sets, how much all this still applies. You have a lighting director, you have production design. Do you feel that it's very, very similar to live action filmmaking? And do you agree with Dante that it's really story is what counts?
Yeah, for sure. The basic difference, of course, in this kind of virtual world is actually, for example, Dante, you know, a DP, it's split in 2 persons in our world. There's a camera DP and there's a lighting DP. And that happens because when we're choosing the shots, we don't know the lighting yet. That the lighting kind of happens last for us because we're actually, someone has to really fine-tune after we've finished the full shot, you know. So in a strange way, animation takes things that would happen all at once in a shot in live action and splits them up in different moments, because someone has to animate it, someone has to light it and finish it. But the considerations that we have with those two persons, for example, that talent is very much the same. You come together and it's like, okay, how do we support the whole movie? You talk a lot about macro thoughts and emotion. I think usually we really talk a lot about the emotion of a moment or the overall arc of a movie. And it's so lovely to then have that collaboration, because people are really coming in offering ways to heighten the things you're chasing as a storyteller. So that moment it's going to be more dramatic because we're going to do this. And how do we flow through the whole movie? So wonderfully collaborative. I'm very much a person who, coming from, you know, we have story teams of people who are trying to figure out how to make the story better, how to tell the whole sequence. And we're very much about brainstorming. And so it's really a room that actually values, here's what I think as a director, but we can probably make it better. Let's talk about it for an hour. Can we top this? Here's what I need from a moment, but how do we make it even better? And I find that you get to that third thing that, first of all, you surprise yourself, because there might be ideas that you didn't think of, that they're unique because they come out of half an idea from one person and half an idea from the other. And again, I think surprise play makes making these movies actually more fun. They're very hard to make. There's a lot of opinions, and you know, you're kind of the guy who has to say no a lot to some ideas, right? But I do feel that it's important to guide and start getting people to understand what you want and what you're looking for, so that then the collaboration can work positively. But yet, in the strange world, the work of animation, it's all a little virtual set, virtual puppets, virtual moments. But I like how that can heighten certain things, you know, and really can allow us to push things very far.
Yes. Pixar is a very amazing place. They do a lot of feedback, you know, when they're at the storyboard stage, right? We've seen you act it out for the group.
Yeah, we iterate the storyboards so many times. That's probably the hard part, is when everybody's talking, is when we show our reels. We show a very, very rough version of our movie, and usually you're kind of, the first times you do it, you're like, oh, this is a mess, it's not working. What works? Well, let's keep 20% of it and rewrite 80%. And truthfully, we do need that iteration. I think in many ways, we are able to really kind of fine-tune the story a little bit more. There's a lot of time involved and a lot of time dedicated to it, and I think that's why Pixar's batting average is so high. There's just a real dedication to, it's not good enough yet. We're going to do another rewrite. In live action, that usually happens on a script.
Yeah.
We do it in storyboard, so we do it in visuals. And again, so it's certainly, I think what you're referring to is like, the actors are all separate. We record them all separately. So there's not a whole, there's not the like, oh, the star wants X or Y. That's a little less of a problem for us when we're making it. We're making a little bit, yeah. But then, you know, you have an animator and a voice. So the actor is split in two now. There's, but again, it does usually bring a lot of wonderful ideas, because the animators, even after we've thought in storyboards all these ideas, the animator will come out and say, there's this silly little scene in our movie where Luca falls on the ground and he's out of it, and I want it to be painful, and then we drew something that looked painful, and then he put a little fish, he stole the fish from another scene that it's a fantastical scene where fish are stars, and he put it around his head like little birds, you know, and that's such a wonderful surprise. At first you see it, you're surprised, you're like, wow, I hadn't thought about that, and then you're like, yeah, let's do it. This is great. It's silly. It's strange. It breaks a little bit the logic. Those are the wonderful things that are added, even all the way to, you know, animation.
Congratulations again. It really works. Massimo, on a film like Cyrano, of course, the story takes place in the France of Louis XIV, but the costumes are on one hand looked quite researched, but also very imagined and fantasy. Is that how the process works? Do you still go back and do research, or you just wait for your inspiration?
No, la ricerca è la cosa più importante sempre, nel senso, io credo che per qualsiasi essere umano conoscere la storia del lavoro che affronta è quello che gli farà poi cambiare la storia di quel lavoro, nel senso che se tu conosci profondamente la materia si può trasformare. Non è che Picasso, perché ha inventato il cubismo, non sapesse disegnare, anzi, il contrario, conosceva talmente la sua materia che poteva allora arrivare ad altro. Ed è quello che io faccio, cioè a me piace tantissimo sperimentare, ma perché c'è dietro una conoscenza ormai da anni e quello che ho cercato di fare anche in Cyrano.
No, I think that research is the most important it's the most important element by all means. I think that human beings through research are then able to transform. I'll give you the example of Picasso. It's not that Picasso found Cubism just like that. He was such an expert. He had gone into the subject matter so much and so deeply that he was able to come up with Cubism. So I do believe that research is at the basis of everything.
E con Cyrano ho cercato di fare un lavoro togliendo degli elementi, nel senso il Settecento classico è pieno di pizzi, oro, ricami, righe, disegni, fiori. Io invece ho tolto tutto questo per arrivare un po' all'essenza del costume, per farla anche più, per essere più comprendibile anche per un audience non così colto della materia. Ma era un po' anche quello che voleva John Wright, voleva un Settecento astratto. Per me la parola d'ordine è stata leggerezza e trasparenza. Io ho usato solo stoffe leggere e trasparenti perché volevo un po' che uscisse l'anima di questi personaggi che si andavano a rappresentare. E, tra l'altro non c'è neanche un gioiello, non ho messo neanche un gioiello, quindi, però non te ne accorgi perché è talmente l'estetica del film così perfetta, perché non è solo un lavoro di costume naturalmente, ma anche di luci, di scenografia, conciatura, capelli, cioè l'estetica di Cyrano è molto forte nella sua semplicità.
Yes, what I did with Cyrano was that I took elements out. Rather than put in more elements, I took them out. We're talking about the 700s, which was a time that was full of lace and flowers and decoration. What I tried to do was get to the essence of the costume so that it could be more comprehensible. I'm almost going back to abstraction. What I wanted to do was to create an aura of lightness. I wanted to be able to understand the soul of these characters. And if you notice, there's hardly any jewelry. There's basically no jewelry, but you don't really realize it. So what I tried to do was to keep it simple, just to get to the aesthetics of it and the essence of everything.
Poi con Joe naturalmente abbiamo spostato di quasi 100 anni la storia, perché è ambientata nel 600, alla metà del 600, non abbiamo ambientata alla metà del 700, ma anche perché girando a Noto ci serviva un po' di più questo scavallamento di epoca, ma anche perché trovo che un regista insomma abbia la sua visione, quindi poteva anche ambientarlo molto tempo dopo, c'è una storia d'amore, quindi non ha tempo, no, se vuoi. Io credo che questo film, appunto, come dico sempre, è un po' una sfera, che da qualsiasi parte tu la guardi è perfetta, perché Joe è stato veramente un burattinaio meraviglioso, cioè ha saputo proprio dirigere alla perfezione. Ed è stata una bellissima esperienza. Io ho fatto più di 750 abiti nuovi, abbiamo usato pochissimo repertorio, ho avuto solo 26 giorni di preparazione, quindi non sono ancora vivo, quindi vuol dire che si riesce a farlo. E non ho mai smesso di cucire fino alla fine del film con il mio team, assolutamente mai.
Yes, what we did though is that we moved 100 years because actually the real history, it takes place in the mid-1600s. I mean, the real history is mid-1700s and we went to the mid-1600s. So we jumped from one epoch to the other. Essentially what the director was trying to portray was a love story, and as all love stories go, they're out of time. So this film, in its perfection, in my opinion, is like a sphere. It's absolutely perfect. And in terms of my work, we had to prepare 750 costumes. I had 26 days in which to prepare them. And as you can see, I'm still alive, and I'm here to tell you about it.
Complimenti. Just a note, I think it was the other way around. The story takes place in 1600 and it was moved to the 700.
I realized it when I apologize, yes.
Dante, I remember speaking to you back a couple of years ago about what it means to be recognized when this happens. And this is a good group to ask. It's really your peers, first of all, recognizing what you've done in your work, right?
Yes, in the case of the Academy Awards, it's which is an incredibly morally precise, very honest operation. You know, nobody cheats at the Academy. It's very serious the way the whole process is taken. Yeah, it's you know, it's your peers. I don't know if you know the way things happen at the Academy. You know, every group of Academy members, each one belongs to a branch, meaning the cinematographers, the costume designers, the production designers, the producers, votes for its own, for 5 candidates, which are then voted by the whole of the Academy. So it's a very precise process.
Structure.
Yeah. And the rest
Well,
of the question?
no, but I mean, so that really means that the nomination is, in a way, what one feels.
Yeah, I like to say that because I only got nominated. I never won the Academy Award. So yes, the difficult thing is to get the nomination. And in fact, it's a selection between a lot of people that works during the day. I envy their position because the moment between the nomination and the actual Academy Award is a very magic moment in town. I do remember one evening we were going around, my wife and I, and we wanted to go to have dinner in a famous restaurant somewhere in Venice or wherever. And we walked in and they told us, "We are sorry, sir, gentlemen, there's no room, it's all taken." I don't know why it happened to say, you know, to me or maybe to her, probably to me because I'm the most narcissistic. And I said, you know, I just was nominated for an Academy Award. Please come in, you'll find it.
These are practical advice for life.
Practical advice. It's like I was driving on the 405 one day, and the phone rings, and somebody says, we are calling you from Reykjavik. It's Iceland radio. We'd like to know about the nomination. So it's a very special moment. It's just the light, funny part, but it's wonderful. Even my awards, which are now mostly career awards, which are kind of ambiguous. They're sort of 50-50 because in one way it's an award, but I'm thinking you're getting through your ages anyway. So if they tell you in the meantime that you did well and you're good, so much the better. So I'm happy to be here.
Well, what's also really great that is also great for us, because when compatrioti get it, we all feel really great for this whole period. And I want to ask you both, just briefly, your experience, since you've gone through it at least once more.
Allora sì, la prima volta è uguale.
Ma è più chic. Più chic perdere che vincere.
Ecco.
I like that. It's chic. It's chic
much more
to
chic
lose.
to lose than to win.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a wonderful, to be completely honest, roller coaster of emotions. That you feel lucky, you feel that when you lose, you feel bad that you feel bad, that you shouldn't feel bad. So it's an interesting challenge with it. But you're
They
right.
don't win.
Yes, I'm using the wrong words, right? But I feel, right. I mean, it really made me, 10 years ago at least, really think about what matters, and it goes back to really the people watching our movies, the people feeling the emotions of our movies. And so as wonderful as the Academy is, I think it doesn't quite reach the height for me that is when you hear people have, I cried at the end of your movie. You made me feel like I was back in Italy and I haven't been back there for 40 years. I think those things are the ones that really I keep close to the heart and really fuel me to tell more stories. And together with that, right, like I feel like you have to pinch yourself when you think about, when I think about myself really leaving Italy and thinking that, if I told that kid leaving Italy, 30 years ago, that this would happen, they would think it's absolutely crazy. So you have to really enjoy the moment, and whichever way it goes.
Allora, io credo che i premi siano naturalmente una bellissima esperienza, ma non sono mai un punto di arrivo, ma sempre un punto di partenza. Soprattutto perché ti si accende un faro un po' sopra, che tu lo vinca, che tu lo perda, soprattutto i premi così importanti, per cui ai prossimi lavori si aspettano e chissà quale miracolo fai. Invece il miracolo viene fatto da una sceneggiatura, io leggo e vesto i personaggi di quella sceneggiatura, quindi è importante vedere i riconoscimenti, ma non ho mai lavorato per questi obiettivi. Se vengono naturalmente è una cosa meravigliosa, però avendo appunto questa passione infinita non ho mai rincorso questo genere di cose, però appunto sono onorato. Tra l'altro quando ti guardano dall'altra parte dell'oceano è una cosa veramente importante, e quindi il faro mo è diventato un po' più grosso dall'anno scorso.
Well, I know that prizes are wonderful. There's something quite wonderful, but that's not the point of arrival. They're the point that you start from. And I think that it's a light that goes on because you're under the lights. It's an important prize. And at that point, after you have won a number of times, people start expecting miracles from you. But it doesn't come from you solely. It comes from the screenplay, it comes from the script, it comes from the collective work. So I personally don't work to win the prize. I work because I have this infinite passion that just pushes me on. And again, I don't work for the prize, but I am very honored to have been recognized and given this prize. And it's important to be seen on the other side of the world as well.
Well, maybe we can close this out with, I guess it's kind of an obligatory question, but I think it bears asking, and maybe also in light of the 200-some nominations that we just heard Italians have had over the years. Is there something that you feel, all of you, but especially those of you who have worked here a lot, that coming from Italy, or that you have brought with you in the way you approach work, in the way you express, something that explains the success in your creative endeavors? Who wants to go first?
That's a good question. I could take it. It's a tough one. Well, where my head goes is it's first of all, how easy it is to sometimes put your roots to the side when you are a new part of this country. And I know I went through a bit of a sense of like wanting to fit in, and I'm gonna order my Starbucks coffee or whatever, which I always thought they should take the passport away, the Italian passport away after that. But
it's now allowed.
It's now allowed. But so I just think a willingness to to really show all of yourself, which as an immigrant, it's actually a wonderful thing to do, because sometimes we don't. That's something I certainly brought with me, and just their willingness to tell stories that are personal and go deep. I don't know if, you know, of course it's not only of Italy, but it makes you look at what made me, you know, for example, for me was my very specific friendship with my best friend. I don't know if it could only happen there, but it certainly could only happen in Liguria the way it was, because we were jumping off the rocks every summer. There was all this wonderful specificity to how we grew up that I think we have inside. I have that sea inside, for example. You know, Mare Ligure, the Ligurian Sea, the water, that blue aqua. You can tell that's what I wear usually in the blues. So I think that's a bit like you bring Italy inside in so many ways, but you know, this was all for me about telling a movie where I was trying to get it on the screen. So hopefully it shows. But it's an interesting, tough question. It's really what is Italian in us, but
yes.
Yeah.
I think that's a good answer.
Io vivo in Italia.
Sì, no, è vero. Però per esempio i costumi, the costumes and the success we've seen, the tradition in Italian costume, does that go hand in hand, for instance, with the tradition in fashion in Italy? And clearly it's much appreciated by many directors and many Academy voters.
No, è vero. Ancora il Made in Italy per quanto riguarda appunto il lavoro di moda e costume è forte, ma è sempre stato così. L'industria del tessile fin dal Medioevo in Italia è stata una cosa enorme, quindi una tradizione che veramente nasce da tantissimi secoli prima. E, soprattutto in Toscana, perché i più grandi costumisti sono tutti toscani, Gherardi, Pierotosi, Cecchi, La Pescucci, Anna Anni, ma ce ne sono tantissimi, perché in Toscana nasce già dalla metà dell'Ottocento la cultura della lirica, con delle sartorie famosissime che poi iniziano con i film muti. E questo fa sì che appunto sia una tradizione veramente grossa dell'Italia, e quando lavoriamo in America veramente veniamo apprezzati per tutto quello che è fatto a mano e per tutta la cultura della storia del costume che abbiamo.
It's true. The label Made in Italy is, in terms of fashion, is still very strong and very important. And let's not forget that the textile industry in Italy goes back to the Middle Ages, and particularly in Tuscany, we had a very strong textile industry. All of the costume designers are, who knows why, mostly Tuscan, such as Tosi, Cecchi, Pescucci, Gherardi, and so on. And then, as of the mid-1800s, we had opera, which became very important. Then we had silent movies, and this all started to become a very strong tradition. And now that we work in the United States, these handmade items have become increasingly important. There's a real appreciation for them.
Dante, you once said, I think you told me that what you thought was distinctive was a sort of a humanist way of looking at cinema that is European and Italian, and versus a more technical way. Do you still think that that happens here in Hollywood?
I don't know. You know, I think relating to this conversation about how important it is to be born in a country under a certain culture, you know, I think it more has to do with the great seasons of cinema in many different nations, meaning the influence that on us had the great season of Italian cinema in, you know, after the war, in the 70s, whatever, with the Fellinis, with the Antonioni, Visconti, and what they meant and brought to all the crafts of filmmaking. is what really matters, not so much where you come from. That's what I think anyway. Like a colleague that we all know, Vittorio Storaro, said, we bring in 2,000 years of humanity. Now, I think that's a little bit exaggerated, you know, in many ways. But anyway, whatever you can put in your mind that is knowledge and going to see art and being interested in humanism, it all makes you capable in then later when you are in a movie set and you have to take a decision. What do I do this? Do I do this blue or do I do this green? Is this going to be dark or light? If you have that kind of information, then you have an answer.
Can I ask you what you're working on now, if anything?
I'm working on thanks Naples, on a documentary on Napoli, on Naples, with my very good friend, director Trudy Styler, who's a producer and director. And I worked for 1 month there. Naples is, you know, I knew Naples from way back when I was in the military service. And I also did a very important film in Naples. So whenever in Naples I said, you know, the guy who photographed the film, everybody was enthusiastic because I did a movie called Così parlò Bella Vista with Luciano De Crescenzo, which is very well known in Napoli. But Napoli is full of humanity and full of humanity mostly, the attitude of people, not to mention the beauty of the city.
De Crescenzo knew that very well, yeah, I think.
De Crescenzo knew very well. I have to add a little tiny thing, maybe, which is probably can be interesting. Technology is helping a lot, especially now. If you talk about documentaries, more than it's helping, it's also making movie making different. But in documentaries, it's very important because, you know, I carry on my neck a camera, a still camera that does film. It's very high quality. So the fact that you have on your neck, we also have a kind of a crew, you know, with 2 cameras and very good people, small crew, but there's a crew with regular cameras. But bringing on your neck a little camera, still camera, and when you see something beautiful, you're able to lift it to your eyes and shoot. That makes a major difference. And for me, it's a lot of fun.
Well, I want to thank all of you for participating in this panel. And we wish you in bocca al lupo to Enrico, Massimo, to Paolo, and Crepi. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Luca, for brilliantly moderating the conversation. Please stay with us for a moment, because now I would like to invite to the podium for closing remarks the Consul General of Italy in Los Angeles, Silvia Chiave.
Thank you. Is this working? Yes. So thank you, Luca. Grazie, thank you to our guests for their insights. We've seen it, we've heard it. Italy and Italians have always played a very important role in Hollywood, and that since the times when thousands of Italians immigrated from Rhode Island mainly, that coincided with the birth of the motion picture industry. Actually, while Italian at that time, they bared on their shoulders the weight, the shame to be Italians, but their traditions in craftsmanship at that time and their skills and sophistication were already highly demanded in Hollywood sets, where they started working as masons, designers, musicians, tailors, also, but also as directors and actors. But while everybody knows Rodolfo Valentino, Frank Capra, Tina Modotti, all born in Italy, let's remember, less is known about persons, maybe you all know it in this environment, but worldwide, about Sicilian-born Pietro Mole, for example, whom invented new kinds of studio lights, or Victor 25, who worked as a musician. So in the following decades, Italians and Italian-Americans became Italian-Americans, greatly contributed also behind the scenes to redefine and perfect the narrative of Hollywood and its aesthetics as well exemplified by our guests here, but also by other Italians, Academy Award winners and nominees like Piero Scalia, Dante Ferretti, Francesca Lo Schiavo, Milena Canonero that was mentioned, and all of these artists or workers, I don't know what word to use, I like in Italian maestranze, but I wouldn't know how to translate it, contributed to, as somebody said, as Massimo said, to take the soul out of character, designing characters, and to build the magic of the final product of a film, as Maestro Spinotti said. So with this tradition of craftsmanship, with the golden era of our cinema, eventually Italy counted a lot of nominations, a lot of Oscars, and we're very proud of you for taking us to this result. The continuous exchange and recognition by Hollywood of our excellence in this sector greatly contributed also to strengthen our bilateral relations, and cinema is definitely one of the pillars of the relations between Italy and the United States. Now we're entering a new era. Since a few years, our contents broke through this market again, and Italy was very good in keeping the track of the most recent wave of globalization in productions. It's thanks to some Italian series, like Gomorrah, for example, that the American public started appreciating contents in foreign language, which wasn't the case only a few years ago. And this also led in the change of taste, the change of the taste of the public, and maybe also contributed to the increasing internationalization of the Academy, because members of the Academy, international members of the Academy, has passed from a 13% in 2016 to more than 25% today. On the other hand, there's also another phenomena. Italy has always been an appealing destination for shooting, but today there's a great boom of productions that are shot in Italy. As I already mentioned in other occasions, Ted Sarandos, Netflix CEO, told me a few months ago, if you need an Italian atmosphere, you can't build it up. You have to go and shoot in Italy. There's nothing that can replace Italy. So what is so special about Italy, about you, about what we do? It's what's been said, that our contents and our territories are incredibly authentic and of high quality. I think authenticity and quality can be resumed. Authenticity, like Enrico said, he tells stories that are true, that are personal, that are authentic, that project the real that is in Italy, and that is very much appreciated. Massimo talked about the traditions of our history, of the textile. That's quality, sophistication, and Italy, whatever is Italian, is synonym of all of this. Quality and sophistication, but also tradition and innovation that go together hand by hand. And that's our great point of strength. So our guests we have today, Dante Spinotti, Massimo Cantini Parrini, Enrico Casarosa, definitely deserve to be awarded tonight as our best talents for their passion and dedication that clearly emerged in this meeting. So thank you for being here with us tonight. And especially, and this is true, especially for Massimo and Enrico, che questi premi siano di buon auspicio. So, thank you. So now for the awards, I'd like to call on stage Nicola Corigliano. Where is Nicola? Dove sei? Eccolo, Nicola Corigliano, coordinator of the desk media and audiovisual at Banca Intesa, and special partner of this festival, to say a few words, and then to award our guests on behalf of the festival and of our friend Pascal Vicedomini. Thank you.
Thank you,
Nicola. The floor is yours.
And it's difficult to speak about your effort and them. My English is like Pascal, so excuse me. I try to speak English because I'm studying. I want to try to speak. And Yes, this week is wonderful because we are the boring part of cinema. No, I haven't a story to tell. No, we stay back and we work to build the big movies like Cyrano that we supported with MGM, but a lot of movies from the studios, American studios. In this week, I met a lot of studios and producer, independent producer, and it's true. All want to come in Italy. All love Italy. And this is a thank for you because we have a excellent, and so, eccellenza, it's right, excellent. And so in this moment, we have together to build a really system for audiovisual sector. And a lot of them told me that now in Italy they need more workers qualified, and so I hope that you can be a teach and driver for a new workers, because we can do a lot of movie now in Italy. And Intesa San Paolo love this sector. My job is wonderful, and we are ready to support this sector in the next year, because we are sure that increase a lot in Italy. Sorry for my English, and okay. And Silvia, you don't forget me, but when I speak with all the producers, I speak English because I know all the financial words. When I speak so, it's more difficult for me. Procediamo allora con i premi. Silvia? Insieme. Ce l'ho anch'io. Your voice is
allora,
better.
al maestro Dante Spinotti, LA Italia Legend Award.
A Massimo Cantini Parrini, LA Italia Excellence Award.
Enrico Casarosa, Italian Excellence Award. Dovremmo anche citare, purtroppo oggi non sono qui con noi, la Francesca Verdini, che con la sua Casa Rossa ha prodotto il film Ghiaccio di Fabrizio Moro e Alessio De Leonardis. Purtroppo non sono qui con noi, ma provvederemo noi poi a fargli avere questo bel premio. And now the Italian Award per il documentario Spicy Calabria. Abbiamo qui Esmeralda Spadea. We're finished. Good evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much everyone for joining us tonight. And again, grazie maestro Spinotti. And in bocca al lupo Enrico Casarosa e Massimo Cantini Parrini. Grazie.